Hello everyone, welcome back to DWR Trophies. Today we're with Alien Isolation and we're looking for all 50 ID tags, and we're going to go through the locations of all 50 of them. There's none in Mission 1, so let's jump straight into Mission 2. We're with Z Watson and we're close to the start, in a section where there's quite a few body bags on the floor. We've just been into a room and turned on the generator. If we head up these stairs and through this door, quite a lot of doors on the way to this one, so through another door, turn right, and through another door. Now we can see the ID tag through the fence next to what was its owner. If we head over to the top corner of the room and head into the vent. This is part of the story path anyway, so you should be coming this way. Just follow the vent all the way around and we'll drop down into the room. So we drop down now. And then pick up the ID tag. Next up, we have no sound with this recording. I don't quite know why, but we'll go with it anyway. But we've met Axel. We've just been into his house. So follow him out the vent, head round to the left. It's quite dark, but the ID tag flashes up anyway, and pick it up. Moving on, A. Hutchison. Now we're over in the Lorenz Systech Spire. So again, this is part of the main story path, so we'll be coming this way anyway. But you'll come to a room and there's it's a rocket engine hanging from the ceiling. Someone will try and shoot at you.
Shit.
After she's shot, she'll run away. So you're free to roam about this area. If you head into this sort of reception area, there's the ID tag on the floor. C. Ward. We are still in the Systech Spire. Now this is the bit where you pick up the revolver, and there's also an ID card. So we pick up both of those, and turn around and follow the corridor. Now again, as with most of these, this is part of the story path, so you'll be coming this way anyway. So you come into this room, and on the first table, worktop, there's the ID tag. Next up, J. Williams. And we are still in the Systech Spire. And this is just after you found the flight recorder. And you have to move some of these around and pick up the upgrade for the hacking tool for the doors. I need to use it to get out of this room anyway. Bear with me while I try and hack this door. And we're through. So head out the door. Take the corridor on the right, and the first door you come to, again use the access tuner. And once we're in, the ID tag is on the table right in front of you. Next, T. Curwen. And we are in Seegson Communications. So we're just past a bit where, try not to give too many spoilers away, but an android has just beat him up a little bit. So head into this room and sneak up here. There are a couple of androids up here that you'll have to try not to get the attention of, but if you sneak around here, the ID tag's just on that desk. For some reason I couldn't stand up. There's the ID tag. D. Turner. So we are still in Seegson Communications. This is just before we get to the part of the game where we communicate with our team, but you'll end up in this room here. Again, part of the story path, but if you access this rewire terminal on the wall and select door access, head out of this door. Instead of going into the communication room, if you head all the way down to the bottom of the corridor, we can now get into this door on the left. And in here on the floor is the ID tag. Moving on, and we are still in Seegson Communications. Now you'll get to a bit where there's this android hanging around this corridor. And the androids at this point, they're not so friendly, so we need to try and sneak past him. You can also see the aliens in that vent. So if we sneak past this android, I found it was easier to just duck into this room, crouch all the way down here. And if we turn right and into this corridor here, in this room, on the table at the end, is ID tag number 8. Next up, T. Armer. And we're in Seegson Communications still. So we've left the room we were just in, and this is us on our way back to the elevator. You'll see there's an android hanging around there, but if we turn left into this communications room, you see there's a Nostromo log over there. There's another video on that. But further round on the side here is the ID tag. The Ransome, and we are in engineering. Now this one, at the end of mission 4, I believe it is, you can take the tram to engineering before you carry on the story. There are a few points in the game you'll actually come here, but if we go into this office, ID tag's right on the desk. Next up, F. Whitechapel. And we're over in the San Cristobal Medical Facility. Now we've just found this doctor, spoken to him, so we'll turn around, and if you head through this vent instead of going through the door, this is one of the few that isn't actually on the story path, but follow this vent all the way through till you get to this room here. And if you follow it round to the right, just on the desk, along with some scrap, is the ID tag. Next up, C. Burrows, and we are in the San Cristobal Medical Facility still. Now, just more or less as we enter it, the doctor's trying to guide us down to where he wants us to go, but if we ignore him, we'll turn right, head towards the nurse station and staff quarters, just head down this corridor. There's a door open just up ahead, we want to head in there. And another previous owner. Pick up the ID tag.
Your home is in the valley below.
Next we've got T. Miller. Still in the San Cristobal Medical Facility. Now, this is the bit where the alien jumps down, and we've got to try and be quiet and sneaky. I'll wait till he's disappeared. Walked off down the corridor. Try not to be too hasty. I made a few mistakes there. But we want to wait till he walks off, turn left, down this corridor. Now we couldn't get in here because we needed the passcode before, so 1702, open the door, head round to the left, and the ID tag's just on the desk. Okay, Tart. We are still in the medical facility. We're currently trying to find Dr. Morley's keycard. If we head into the staff quarters, enter in the code 1702 again. Just quickly update the map while we're here. Head down this corridor, still going towards the staff quarters, but straight down. So we need to find this room here. If we head all the way around, there's the ID tag just sat on the side there. A Lynch. And we are still in the medical facility. Heading for the private rooms. Now we're looking for room A27. And this is going to be another one where the tag's still with the previous owner, but I don't think they're going to mind if we take it. So, room A27, here it is. Head in, and on the table by the window is the ID tag. C. McCormack. We're still in at the medical facility. Now this is the bit where you have to put the cooling tanks in the centre room to get into the two side rooms. So we've just picked up the cooling tank from the room on the left. We'll just go and stick that in now so we can gain access to the room on the right. Or left, whichever way you're looking at it. But we want to head to this room here. Now in here you'll find an access rewire panel on the wall. What we want to do is make it so that we can gain access to the vents, which will in turn open a drawer to your left. And there is the ID tag.
Should be able to find out where they're keeping everything in her office.
Good luck, Ripley.
Moving on, and we're with A. Sawyers. We're still in the medical facility. We're looking for the trauma kit. We use the key card to get through this door into another area. We'll see this very well looking man on a wheelchair. Now if we head round to the right,
It's got hell in here.
there are some humans still here. So if we sneak down the corridor, and we want this room on the left. So just go into this room, and the ID tag is just sat on the desk, or terminal. Next up, we're with Kane Neville, and we're still in the medical facility. Now we're actually in the operating theatre. This is actually the room where you'll find the trauma kit you're looking for. Now the trauma kit's right there on that cart, but if you come slightly past it, you can see it flashing there. Again, I can't stand up, but there's the ID tag. Sans-Gomez. Now we're in Seegson synthetics. So we're at the part where we need to get through here to get a part to fix the elevator. Thankfully the ID tag's not too far along. We just walk down, we'll sneak down this corridor.
Quiet.
There's the ID tag there, next to its previous owner. N. Brunswick. Seegson Synthetics. Now this is the room where the android is that we need to power up to get the part. You can see him straight ahead there, but if we come in here, turn left and head to the room all the way down to the bottom. And straight ahead of us on the floor is number 20. 21, E. Koorlander. We're in Sevastopol, Tower, just at the transit station. This is the bit where you first meet the marshal after they've finished talking, having a conversation.
Yeah, right. We'll talk about that later, Waits. You protect
If you
them
just
while
head
I'm
past
gone.
them, turn
Understood?
right. The ID tag is sat on one of the benches around here. So pick that up. Next up, K. Clarke. And we're in the Sans-Gomez Tower. We'll come down this corridor. I believe this is part of the story path anyway, because this is where we go to reinitiate the transit system. So we're heading to transit control. Bit of a long elevator ride, but once we're up here, we turn right, head all the way down to the front of the room. Just beside this chair is the ID tag. V. Nash. This is number 23. We're still in the Sans-Gomez Tower. So, from the same room, we've done everything we need to do in there. We've cut the panel off this vent. So we'll head into that. Turn right again. Nearly went left, but it's right. Down the ladder. Still going down the ladder. There we go. When you come out into this room, the ID tag is just on the desk there. Number 24, and it's W. Woodbury. Now, we're over in Solomon's Habitation Tower. And this is the bit where we get the
Let's hope this
flamethrower.
thing works.
It's an animal.
One of the handiest weapons in the game.
Hope you're right.
But once we've picked that up, come out the room and turn left. You'll be able to go down this corridor. As soon as you go through this door, on the left, on the window ledge, is the ID tag. 25, K. Lingard. Now we're still in the Habitation Tower. Now this is just us heading out of the Marshal's office, would we call it? But yeah, heading out of here. So we're supposed to go down to the transit station. We'll just update the map while we're here, why not? So yeah, we're supposed to head left and go to the transit station, but if we go straight ahead and run all the way to the end, don't need to worry about not sprinting here. The alien doesn't show up, but on the bench, next to some revolver ammo,
Samuel's okay doing that?
is the ID tag. Number 26, R. Taffler. Now we're over in Lorenz Systech Spire again. We're heading towards tech support, and this is the part where we're starting to initiate a lockdown. I'm supposed to use that thing over there, but before we do, if we head into this room here and access this terminal. So we need to access this terminal and unlock the cells. If you do miss any of these ID tags, you can come back later on and do mission select, because a couple of them are missable. Like if you start initiating the lockdown at this point, you then can't access this room, but you can always come back. So there we go, we'll unlock the cells. Once that's unlocked, we want to head down that corridor straight ahead of us. The cell on the left, and right there is the ID tag. C. Gascoigne. We're in the Lorenz Systech Spire. Now this is the bit where we're heading. We're still trying to lock everything down. You'll get to a bit where you have to use this terminal here to initiate a part of the lockdown. So once we've run the bypass program, initiated the lockdown, head out from behind the desk. Now there are some androids here, but they are friendly. So if we head down this corridor, we want the room on the right. Head in here. Head round to this room at the back. And there's the ID tag. Next up, Kay Lenton. And we're up in Gemini Exoplanet Solutions. Now, part of the story path will lead you to having to reset this breaker in this room. Once you've done that, that will power up this vent. As you can see, someone or something has been in here previously. Jump down into the vent. Once again, a previous owner, so they won't mind if we take. And there we go. Next up is number 26, I believe. No, 29, sorry. So we're over in Project KG348. Once we get there, we're supposed to turn left, but if you turn right and head to the decontamination room, just in this room on the left. And there is a human in here, and he seems ever so happy to see us, but on the bed on the left is the ID tag.
I heard something in the vents a while back. Stay on your toes.
B. Heimers. Number 30. Solomon's Habitation Tower. So this is us trying to return into the station after we were just in the lab and it got blasted out, but we'll get to this room here. Now in there's the bar with all the purple lighting, but we want to head down into this vent.
Wait, it's Ripley.
So head down there, follow it round, there will be some chatter going on.
What about the change in alert status?
Damn it, I don't know. I'm trying to contact Samuels.
Just keep following it round.
Apollo is playing at.
We want to climb out of the vent again. Now once we're in this room, if we turn around, and there's the ID tag on the desk. Number 31, G. Ramsey. We are Solomon's Habitation Tower. You will come across this point again as part of the story path. I think there's a couple of opportunities you can actually come up this stairs. Head up here. This shutter will open. Head down here, and on the right hand side, just sitting on the corner of the bench, is the ID tag. Next we're with B. Bullock. We're in Seegson Synthetics again. This is actually the place where she says that they come to die. But if we head all the way around to this room, directly opposite from where we came in, head in there, and on the desk at the end is the ID tag. J. Mitchell. Still in Seegson Synthetics. We're in by where the sales agreement office is, and we've just diverted the gas and started that fire. Oops. But if we head into this room here, right next to the save point, under the desk this time, just to spice things up, is the ID tag. Next up, E. Hampton. Seegson Synthetics again. Now, I've already been in and cleared out all the androids that were in here, so watch yourself when you come in. There's cameras and androids, but if you head all the way down to the end room, once you're in here, if we head into this room here, climb down into the vents. Once you're in the vents, you'll get to a T, turn left, and there's the ID tag. Next up, we are in Seegson Synthetics, Android Orientation. Now this is the bit where Samuels unfortunately left us. So once that bit's over, if you exit the room, turn right, keep heading round, and you'll get to this door. You can use your access tuner on. I've already opened the door, but straight ahead is the ID tag. J. Shotliff. And we are in the Apollo core. This is one of those places where if you miss it during the game, you can't actually get back during the gameplay, so you'd have to do mission select, but just in the security office is the ID tag. K. Hussein. Still in the Apollo core. Now when you get to where you can go between the left and the right hemispheres, you'll come in this room here and we'll get the gas mask, which we need to get to the next one. So head back out of there to where we just were, head over to the left hemisphere. You can see all that gas is there in the first door, and just over here is the ID tag. G. Spedding. We're still in the Apollo core. This one is, you'll get to this sort of server room here. We head into the monitoring control room. So head down here, there's a room on the right. What looks like pool tables in it. Don't think they are, but just up here is the ID tag. And the next one, J. King. We're starting off from just where we left off, but we're heading just down the corridor. So that was where the last ID tag was. If you head out this door, straight forward, follow it round. Now just through this door, you can't easily miss this one, but look down and there's the ID tag. Number 40, Chief Porter. And we are in engineering. I believe this is where we pick up the bolt gun. So just opposite that table is this bed where the ID tag is. P. Timlet. Still in engineering. We're on our way to the reactor at the moment. So we'll get to this part here where we can head down this corridor, and this is actually where we get our weapons back. So if we pick our weapons up, then just on the shelves behind is the ID tag. Number 42, J. Jones. We're back in the San Cristobal Medical Facility. Now this is where we have to take the ambulance. So if we're into the ambulance bay, this is actually the room where you pick up the next upgrade for your access tuner. And just in this top left hand corner is the ID tag. 43, M. Radcliffe. Seegson Communications, the monitoring rooms. We're trying to find Ricardo at the moment. We'll get to this point, and as you can see, there's a few fires started. Now there are some security guard-ish people who will shoot you. So sneak down here, and you want to cut this cover off with the ion torch.
Can they?
We'll skip past that. But once you've cut the cover off, if you climb into the vent... How they didn't hear this, I don't know, but there we go. Climb in. Turn to the right, not the left. Don't know why I keep doing that. But follow the vent till you get to the first exit on the left. Come out of there, follow the room all the way up and around, and sat next to its previous owner is the ID tag. Next up, we've got M. Perry, and we're over in the Lorenz Systech Spire. So this is where we started off for the last ID tag, but now what we can do is basically free roam. So if we head back before we carry on with the story, we'll go back to the lobby. This is actually the room with that jet engine hanging from the ceiling again. You might have to sneak through this area depending on what difficulty you've got the game on, because the alien will come back. But if we head over here, and we couldn't actually access this door earlier on in the game, but now we've got the required upgrades for the access tuner, we can get into this door. So go ahead, use the access tuner, unlock the door. There we go. Head in, and just on the corner here is the ID tag. 45, K. Bennett. Now we're still basically going for free roam. So from where you were, go back to the transit station and head here. Now just up here, this is Solomon's Habitation Tower, sorry, but this door right at the top of the stairs we can now use our access tuner on, same as the last one. Unlock the door. There we go. And once we're in, it's right over here. Number 46, O. Smith. Seegson Communications. This is the bit where we have to go outside and do a spacewalk. So we're going to EVA preparation. You go into this room and use the lift. Again, this is part of the story path. We'll just cut that lift right out. Once the lift reaches the bottom, we head straight forward. You can see the ID tag hanging from the wall. Number 47, E. Winters. Solomon's Habitation Tower again. But this is a different part. Again, this is part of the story path. So once you get here, just follow it round, turn left and go down these stairs into a little sunken lobby. And just on the corner of these benches is the ID tag. F. Sinclair. Again, we're still in Solomon's Habitation Tower. We get to a bit where we've got to go through all these rooms, and the alien is here and it jumps through the windows, and you've got to go back and restart the generator. But you'll get to this breaker switch, open the door. I'm guessing this is the previous owner, but there's the ID tag. number 49, sorry. Station maintenance. We get back to the communication room and we're talking to Verlaine. Everything's on fire. We just head straight up here. Another previous owner, but the ID tag's just sat on the desk. Number 50. The last one, S. Cooper. So, right at the end, when we're just about to go out and do a final spacewalk and finish the game, we end up grabbing the spacesuit helmet out of here. And would you believe it, we get dragged away. Just when things can't get any worse. But there we go, we get dragged away. It all goes black. We wake up. We're stuck to the wall. So, as soon as we've broken free from the wall, we'll face plant the floor. There we go. Once we're back on our feet, that bench there, bench on the left, there we go, is the final ID tag. That's all 50. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please make sure to like and subscribe and keep up to date with all our videos and live streams. See you in the next one.